Ammo shortages come and go, but the smart preppers? They're already ahead of the curve, grabbing the pistols that actually matter. When 911 is just a memory, and your neighbor starts asking the wrong kind of questions. We're not talking about safe queens or tactical fads. We're talking about real handguns, sidearms you can count on, when it's just you, your skills, and your kit. So what are the exact pistols being stockpiled by preppers in 2025? And why are they flying off the shelves faster than manufacturers can box them up? In this video, we're breaking down 8 proven pistols that serious survivalists, gear hoarders, and practical-minded Americans are tossing into their bug-out bags, truck safes, and nightstand holsters. If you're looking for a sidearm that's more than just a range toy, something built for the long haul, this list is your blueprint. Let's lock in. Let's break it down. Number 10. CZ-P10C Optics Ready. CZ built the P10C to go toe-to-toe with the Glock 19, and in the eyes of a lot of shooters, it punches harder. With a cold hammer-forged barrel, full steel internals, and one of the lowest-bore axes in its class, this thing stays flat no matter how fast you run the trigger. The trigger breaks clean at 4.5 pounds, with a short, tactile reset that puts it ahead of most striker-fired guns under $500. The grip texture is aggressive but glove-friendly, and teardown is as simple as a Glock. The slide is milled for optics right out of the box, and the suppressor height steel sights co-witness perfectly with a Holosun 507K or a Shield RMSC. No adapter plates, no shim kits, just mount and go. Ambidextrous controls come standard, and the mags, running about $25 each, feed reliably even after dust and dirt. In testing, this gun kept cycling after sand, mud, and dry fire drills most pistols choke on. For preppers looking for a sidearm that doesn't need upgrades, doesn't flinch under pressure, and doesn't cost half your paycheck, the P10C hits all the marks. Number 9. Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 Compact Optics Ready. Built for the real world, not a showcase. The M&P 2.0 Compact from Smith & Wesson was designed for officers who needed one pistol to carry every day, and trust every night. With a flat-faced trigger that breaks at 5 pounds, a tight reset, and zero slop, it shoots cleaner than most striker-fired guns twice the price. The grip texture isn't just aggressive, it's smart. It locks in under gloves, rain, and recoil, but it doesn't sandpaper your gut after a full day of concealed carry. Interchangeable back straps let you fit it to any hand size, so whether it's your EDC or your backup, it always feels like your gun. The Optics Ready slide accepts most red dots without spacer plates, and the factory steel sights are tall enough to co-witness out of the box. No guesswork, no parts chase. Just mount, zero, and go. It runs 15+1, with $30 magazines that you can actually find in stock. The whole gun goes for around $500 street. But what you're buying is a pistol that's already proven with cops, trainers, and civilians who carry every day. Parts are everywhere. Holsters are everywhere. And nothing about it requires tuning or babying. For preppers who want a sidearm, they can toss in a go bag today and depend on 5 years from now. The M&P 2.0 Compact just makes sense. Number 8. Glock 19X. Glock designed the crossover. 19X for soldiers who wanted the controllability of a full-size grip and the fast draw of a compact slide. That same requirement tracks perfectly with what preppers demand. A pistol that can fill every slot on the roster without special training or exotic parts. Street price for the 19X hovers just under $700, and what you get for that money is a sidearm built to keep running when lube and fresh recoil springs are scarce. The 17+2 mags that ship in the box make perfect sense for guard duty, neighborhood patrols, or a last-ditch perimeter stand. And every 17-rounder from a standard Glock 17 feeds the gun without issue. The NPVD-coated internals shrug off sweat, dust, and muddy water. So, half an hour with a toothbrush and a splash of motor oil gets it ready for the next training day. Designed for war and adopted by agencies that once clung to metal-frame SIGs, the 19X sits in the sweet spot between the older Beretta M9 and newer duty pistols like the Smith & Wesson M and P9 2.0. Anyone considering a CZ P10C or a Springfield Echelon as a do-everything pistol will find the Glock simpler to maintain in a grid-down world. Swap a broken spring with a spare from a range bag, and you're back in business in minutes. Polymer frame skeptics who still run Browning high powers often admit the 19X recoils flatter and dries faster after a rainstorm. The clean, consistent 5.5-pound trigger makes teaching new shooters painless. And night sights paired with a compact length slide mean you can draw from concealment without printing. Number 7. SIG P320 MOD. The P320 MOD came to life when SIG asked Max Michel to merge his race gun wish list with a service-grade duty pistol. Michel wanted flat recoil, fast sights, and zero aftermarket headaches. SIG answered with an integrated 2-port expansion chamber, machined directly into the slide. An X-series flat trigger set at 4 pounds, and a removable tungsten grip weight that lets you decide whether to keep it light for everyday carry, or heavy for 30-yard steel. The factory optics package bundles an enclosed emitter Romeo X, and the whole kit ships for around $1,399. Street prices dip closer to $1,350 when dealers run SIG promos. That out-of-the-box completeness makes the MOD a direct alternative to the Staccato C2 or ZEVO Z9, but it loads your range bag with 3 21-round magazines, while those rivals ship with half the ammo. The serialized fire control unit pins into any P320 grip. So, one purchase seeds a family of pistols that share triggers, strikers, and springs. SIG built it for officers who need a single gun to drift from patrol belt to plainclothes duty, without losing performance. And that mission dovetails with the prepper, who wants a go-to primary and a spare compact slide in the cache. Compared with a classic SIG P226 Legion, the MOD runs lighter, cleans faster, and feeds from polymer mags that cost $35 instead of $60. Reliability lawsuits from the early P320 era pushed SIG to refine the striker geometry. The MOD drop safety now equals, or beats, most striker designs. A confidence boost when the gun spends nights in a nylon chest rig, bouncing through rough terrain. Number 6. Live Free Armory, Apollo 11, Compact. Live Free Armory set out to create a double-stack 1911 that wouldn't leave new shooters crying at the cash register. The Apollo 11 Compact lists for $999 and often rings up around $925. Purists raise eyebrows at the 3D-printed, nylon-infused grip, but that construction method allowed the engineers to keep a forged steel frame and a match-grade 4.15-inch bull barrel. Designed to deliver 2011 accuracy in a carry-sized footprint, the Apollo weighs enough to keep muzzle rise flat, but never drags down your inside-the-waistband holster. After a 200-round break-in, the trigger smooths to roughly 3.5 pounds, giving you precision only true custom guns used to offer. It runs standard staccato pattern magazines, so spares cost $45, not the $90 proprietary stick some boutique builders require. Anyone eyeing Springfield's Prodigy or Rock Island's TAC Ultra HC as an entry into the wide-body 1911 world should consider the Apollo's lower cost and lifetime warranty. Live Free built it for concealed carriers who want single-action crispness without the bulk of a 5-inch slide. But for preppers, it doubles as a superb training gun for smaller-statured shooters. The wide grip spreads recoil into the palm, and the low-bore axis helps beginners maintain sight alignment during rapid fire. If you've dreamed of a Wilson EDCX9 but refused to finance a sidearm, the Apollo 11 puts almost the same performance in your range bag for a third of the money. Number 5. Keltec PR-57. George Kellgren's crew decided the 5.7x28 deserved a pistol as radical as the cartridge itself. The PR-57's top-loading design fixes a big gripe many shooters had with expensive proprietary magazines. Instead of detachable mags, two 10-round stripper clips shove 20 rounds into an internal double column, giving the pistol a trim grip that weighs in at a feather-light 13.86 ounces. MSRP is $399, and most shops sell it around that figure because it's already priced to move. The PR-57 exists for hikers, backcountry rangers, and yes, preppers who want a high-capacity kit gun that disappears in a chest pouch. Recoil in 5.7 feels more like a sporty .22 Magnum than a service caliber. So follow-up shots on evasive varmints, or two-legged threats, stay on target. When set beside the FN57 or Ruger's LC carbine pistol, the PR-57 wins on cost, weight, and strip-feed simplicity. It also makes a quirky, but viable, replacement for rimfire survival pistols like the Taurus TX22 competition. Field stripping takes 3 seconds. Push the trigger face forward, slide the upper forward a hair, lift it off, and the gun is open for cleaning. Early adopters report solid accuracy out to 50 yards, enough to bag rabbits for Camp Stew or push coyotes back from the fence line. With a direct-milled RMSC cut, adding a micro-red dot turns the pistol into a low-light predator slayer that still tucks under a truck seat without rattling. Number 4. Ruger RXM. Ruger partnered with Magpul to produce a polymer frame that feels familiar to Glock shooters, but bolts to a stainless chassis, just like the SIG P320. The RXM bridges those worlds at $500, even closer to $470 during holiday sales. It was built for agencies wanting a domestic striker pistol with modular grips, but balking at German or Austrian import tariffs. For preppers, that means repair parts and warranty service never cross an ocean. The pistol carries 15+1 rounds in $30 magazines, and the optics-ready slide comes with suppressor height irons tall enough to co-witness with most enclosed emitter dots. The trigger, a clean 5 pounds with minimal grit, breaks in by the third box of ammo and never asks for polishing or spring kits. Anyone thinking about a Glock 19 MOS, a Smith & Wesson M&P compact optics ready, or even a CZP-10C, will find the RXM delivers the same reliability, with the bonus of frame modularity. Because the chassis is the serialized part, you can stash spare grip frames in each bug-out location and move the FCU into whichever one fits the mission. Mag, catch, and slide release geometry match Glock holsters almost perfectly. So if you've already got boxes of compatible gear, you're good to go. The design purpose was clear. Give American law enforcement a modular domestic duty pistol. The happy side effect, a citizen sidearm, ready for whatever economic storm rolls in next. Number 3. Canik Prime. Canik spent 2 years tweaking the meat platform before cutting the slide to micro-length and opening an American manufacturing line in South Carolina. The Prime ships with a flared, integrally compensated slide that drops felt recoil to 380A CP levels, even with plus P loads. It includes 2 17-round magazines, a reversible G-code holster, punch tools, cleaning kit, and molded case. The package costs $650. Designed for concealed shooters who refuse to compromise on trigger feel, the Prime breaks at an honest 4 pounds and resets with a tactile click. It's smaller than a Glock 19 and flatter than a CZP-07, making it a welcome alternative to SIG's P365X Macro, for those who find the SIG's curved trigger annoying. The Prime's slide is milled deep enough to sink an RMSC or Holosun 507K low enough for true co-witness, without resorting to aftermarket plates. Canik added extended backstraps so folks with larger hands don't feel like they're pinching a toy, while shooters moving up from pocket pistols can keep the smallest insert for better concealment. Preppers appreciate that the company still ships every part, springs, pins, striker assemblies, as individual SKUs, so spares slot neatly into an Altoids tin for field repairs. The Prime exists to give carriers a micro-footprint with service pistol capacity, and by that metric, it lines up against the Springfield Hellcat Pro and Walther PDPF series. The shooting experience, however, feels closer to a competition gun, a fact I confirmed by running build drills back-to-back against a shadow-triggered Glock 19. Number 2. Staccato HDP-4. The HDP-4 merges Staccato's combat pedigree with the logistical convenience preppers demand. Engineers built this 4-inch optics-ready 2011 around Glock magazine compatibility, so a $16 Korean GL9 feeds the gun just as happily as a $32 OEM stick. Staccato lists the pistol at $2,499, and demand keeps them near retail. The ambidextrous safety levers, reversible mag release, and extended slide stop accommodate left-handed shooters, making the P4 a genuine one-gun-fits-all solution for mutual assistance groups. Staccato designed it for law enforcement units that run plainclothes one day and plate carriers the next. That dual-role DNA explains the Dawson toolless guide rod, which pops free for cleaning without a paperclip, and the fluted barrel that sheds an ounce of slide mass so the gun tracks flat. Comparisons often drift toward the Springfield Prodigy 4.25 or the Bull Armory SAS-2. Yet, the P4's reliability and wide parts network make it a more practical survival sidearm, if you already stash Glock 19s in your cabins. Adding a Staccato lets you carry single-action precision without buying new magazines. I ran the P4 through a 200-round low-light class beside my Glock 19X. Groups shrank by 30%, and split times dropped a full tenth of a second, with the same ammo, same holster position, and zero malfunctions. For the prepper who believes in one soul, one pistol, one lifetime, the P4 makes a convincing case. Number 1. Alchemy Custom Weaponry Fat Man. Alchemy Custom Weaponry Fat Man pays homage to the World War II M1911A1, while solving the old gripe that 45A CP pistols top out at 8 rounds. This double stack holds 11+1 in the flush mag, or 13+1 with the extended, delivering big bore power without constant reloads. With a price tag of $4,495, the Fat Man aims at collectors and shooters who treat sidearms as heirlooms. Yet, its purpose isn't purely display. The DLC finish laughs at corrosion, and the hand-fit slide cycles smoother than many bespoke bullseye guns. A gold bead up front marries to a serrated Harrison rear, producing the kind of crisp sight picture night sights can't match at high noon. Designed for limited distribution, only 25 pieces rolled out of Indiana in the first run, making each pistol part fighting tool, part investment hedge against future shortages. When compared with Para's discontinued P14 or Springfield's discontinued XDM Elite 45, the Fat Man offers equal capacity with tighter tolerances, and a trigger that breaks like snapped glass at 3.75 pounds. The wide grip frame spreads recoil into the palm, so rapid doubles don't drift left like they often do with narrow single stacks. A prepper committed to the big holes leak more philosophy might consider the Fat Man the modern alternative to lugging two 1911s or carrying a brutally recoiling 10mm. I've loaned mine to shooters used to 9mm polymer guns, and every one of them smiled after the first magazine punch drilled the center of the target. As a woods or home defense piece, the Fat Man delivers the raw authority of 45 ACP, plus magazine capacity that closes the gap with most 9mm platforms. So, there you have it. 10 pistols dominating prepper arsenals in 2025. Got one of these on your hip, or tucked away in the safe? If not, ask yourself this. When the lights go out, which one's riding with you till the end? Drop your pick in the comments. We read every single one. We don't do fluff. We do real. While you're down there, hit like. Share this with your prepping circle, the ones who get it. Subscribe for more Pro 2A gear guides, and click that bell so you're locked in for what's next. Stay trained, stay prepared, stay sharp.